Hi and good morning. It's the Monday Live. Came back from a weekend in Denham. We had a great time, I have to say. Things are looking up there, I have to say. They've made a great effort, new management, and things are wonderful. Yeah, we had lots of new people and a good event. Fun for all. What have we got in store? Well, we are in preemptember. So we are particularly at the moment defending against week twos, but any preempts will do, so do send in your hands. And we are negative doubling on Fridays, but actually in a similar vein, because we are now looking at higher overcalls and how we deal with them. So very similarly, we're dealing with preempts, but when we've opened the bidding, as it were, so a club 2 spades or a club 3 spades, and what you do over that. So plenty to tax us. We've got the 5-level decision. We've got our bidding quiz. In terms of what's going on, well, we've got all the UK events. I'm in 2 bridges next week, and that's Monday to Wednesday. So what that will be, this is next week, not this week, next week. The Monday will be recorded and the teams will be Thursday. So that's next week. This week we are normal, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But the week after, I'm recording the Monday, and then the teams will be on the Thursday rather than on the Wednesday. So that's 2 bridges in Devon, in Dartmoor. So looking forward to that. And then I think we're pretty much free of events then until the middle of October, when half term comes around, and we're off to Portugal, both for a bridge holiday and a holiday, which is nice. Okay. I'm looking at Andy telling us about a bridge congress in the Isle of Man, there where the winds have kept the bridge players there. By the look of it, that looks interesting, but it's certainly a bit windy. And talking about windy, we've got lots of cruises for you if you fancy those, but hopefully it's not so windy. There's one of the Isles of Scotland. Which is quite a nice one, actually. I did that, I think, was it last year or the year before? Last year, I think, similar time. And in fact, I'm doing around the British Isles next year. So we've got one around the Scottish Isles and then one right round the UK, which is rather nice as well. So lots of choices, as always. And don't forget, we have started as a tour operator, which is pretty exciting. So that means you've got a variety of choices. So Portugal's the first one. That's a resurrection of a Portugal holiday. So that should be great. That's in October, and that's where I'm going in that half-term break for the bridge bid. So do join us there. There's still room, of course, because we had to start selling that rather late, so you would be welcome. And we're all sorts of other places. We've got Tenerife, which is launched. Croatia has just launched, so that's got an early bird offer. And I'm pretty sure Mallorca has launched as well. So there's plenty of early bird offers available. So do look out for those. Both Croatia, which is still going to Revenge, where of course we've been traditionally many times, and Mallorca to a new hotel in Mallorca for us. So there are plenty of options available to you. So look out for those on BNB Holidays. Now, I think I'm looking at the 5-level decision to start us off, so let's have a look. So you'd have seen this on Friday, some of you, and of course it's on theme with everything that we're sort of doing. 1 club, 4 spades, and the 5-level decision is yours. So 1 club from your partner, natural, I should say, 4 spades. You're playing a weak no trump system, and 4 card majors. 1 club, 4 spades. Isn't that tricky? Okay, and that's sort of what we've been discussing on the Fridays. Certainly last Friday we were talking about preemptive overcalls when we have opened the bidding, so the sort of negative double situation. Okay, so that is that. We'll come back to that after our seminar. And of course, the UK events, just a quick mention of those. ANIC I'm going to, is that next month? No, 2 months' time. I get lose track as it were, going to ANIC. And then, of course, we've got our festive season, which is pretty exciting, if I'm honest. I tend to turn up on the 27th of December. I have a family Christmas, as it were, 27th of December, all the way through to the 2nd of January. And then, of course, within a week, I try not to remember that at the time, within a week I come back for the defensive reboot. And that is, I mean, if you are into really starting your bridge year with a bang, you need to obviously do the dancing at the new year, but the reboot is quite something. We focus on seminars, so we do... and it's defensive, so there'll be 6 defensive seminars in 3 days, and it will certainly get those brain cells chugging away to start a new year. And of course, defense is one of the most beautiful parts of bridge. Okay, so let us jump to the seminar. There we go. Let us do it. Defending against week 2, so let's just remind ourselves of a couple of the basics. And what we're going to discuss today is dealing with the extended preempt. Okay, so when it starts 2 hearts and they make it a bit higher than that. So let's remind ourselves about the week 2s, obviously. They are showing generally a weak hand with a 6-card suit. Vulnerability makes a difference, and we're going to see that in so many different ways. Okay, so we are expecting our opponents to often have a hand that might not even make a trick against us. So bear that in mind. So if they've opened 2 spades with 6 to the king, queen, jack, and nothing outside, if you've got a singleton spade, they don't even make 1 trick against you. Okay, so we need to bid aggressively against it. That does not mean bidding with weak hands. It means if you've got a strong hand, you've got to try to make a bid. Okay, and that's the key. So don't shirk what you need to do just because if they've opened 2 spades, you feel, well, then we have to go to the 3 level. Well, the point is that you have to be bold. Okay, because if they're not making many tricks against you, there's very much a good chance that you can do something. Okay. So what is our system? Well, of course, it's takeout, doubles, overcalls, and the 2 no trump overcall. The 2 no trump overcall, don't forget, is natural. If they open a weak bid, our overcalls are strong and natural. So we don't need a weak 2 suited bid. So remember, over 1 spade opening, 2 no trumps. A lot of you will play as the unusual 2 no trumps. Quite weak hands, 5-5 in the suits. Okay. Whereas, of course, when they open a weak bid of 2 spades or 2 diamonds or 2 hearts, 2 no trumps is a genuine call. Partner, I've got a strong no trump, 16 to 18, let's say, 15 to 19, those kind of values, and a good stopper, of course. So we've looked at it. We've looked at defending against preempts, these week 2s generally. What about when the bidding goes 2 hearts past 3 hearts or 2 hearts double 3 hearts? Okay, so the job of the partner of the preemptor is sometimes, if they've got support, is to make our life more difficult. So we're the last player to bid, and it's now at 3 hearts rather than 2, which is a bit annoying. Or it might go 2 hearts double. Your partner might double 3 hearts. Okay. Now, the key in both of these auctions is to remember what these 3 heart bid means. Now, of course, you might be playing against opponents who don't know. That's another matter. But assuming your opponents know what they're doing, neither of those 3 heart bids are invitational. Both of those bids are preemptive. They're trying to stop you coming into the auction. So 2 hearts pass, the 3 heart bid there is not inviting their partner to game. All strong hands in response to week 2s bid 2 no trumps, or bid game, of course. You can't just jump to 4 hearts, but essentially 2 no trumps is what you bid if you want to maybe go places. Okay, or if you think you might make game, you bid 2 no trumps, your partner says 3 clubs, I'm weak, or your partner might bid 3 spades, I'm strong, if you're used to the responses to, let's say, August, or feature showing, or those kind of things. So 2 hearts past 3 hearts is not saying, oh, I've got lots of points. Okay, 3 hearts is saying, I've got 3 card heart support, let's bid to the level of our fit. 2 hearts, double 3 hearts, the same thing. In fact, 3 hearts might be even more murky, as it were, thinking, oh, well, they're trying to get in this auction with that double, I'm going to make it harder by raising the preempt. Okay, so again, we should be trying to bid with suitable hands. So what do I mean by suitable hands? Well, let's look at that first auction, 2 hearts past 3 hearts. Generally here, you're looking to bid on the similar set of hands that you would have bid over a 2 heart opening. Okay, so here clearly over 2 hearts you would have been doubling this for takeout, wouldn't you? So therefore you still do it over 3 hearts. One of the things to remember here is that 3 hearts might make if they've got a 9 card fit. So the point is 3 spades going off, so they might have 9 hearts between them, 6 and 3, maybe a singleton here, singleton there, they might scrape home. So therefore 3 spades going off or 4 clubs going off can be a good score. At the same time, they may go off, but if they go off, we'll have a bit more strength. And with the distribution, don't forget, I mean, West has got a nice hand. Those of you who count losers, it's 6.5. The Queen's by itself in clubs, but it's a nice hand. So there's no reason to think if partner's got a good fit with you, and he's likely to have a fit in one of the suits. Remember, the opponents have already shown 9 hearts. So surely we must have a fit, and often we'll have a 9 card fit of our own. Maybe partner's got 5 clubs and is able to bid 4 clubs. You know, there's a fair chance that both contracts might make. Okay, and of course there's a chance that we might make a game, because remember the 3 heart bid is not showing any strength. Your partner has passed, but if your partner has a flat hand, okay, and this is why we like to bid with these singletons, because if your partner's got 3 hearts, how's he going to bid with 14 points? He's just got a flat hand over 2 hearts, so he's passed. Because he's too flat to bid, and a double allows him to respond, and of course now he might be bidding game, jumping to 4 spades with 14 points. Okay, so you use the takeout double on similar hands. Okay, it is difficult though. If it goes to particularly 2 spades past 3 spades, it means we're forced to go to the 4 level over the double. So it is, you need to be brave, but you've got to remember that in a way both North and South are not suggesting they've got any defensive tricks at all. You know, possibly all they can make is the hearts, and you've got one of them, and therefore can rough the second round. Okay, so we would double. So how about this auction then? 2 hearts, double, 3 hearts. And where are we placed now? So it's got a 2 heart opening on your left. Your partner's made a takeout double, and then it goes 3 hearts. Now, obviously, as a partnership, we would love to play in spades here. And so if you've got spades, you would bid them. 3 spades or even 4 spades if you've got a nice hand. What on earth do you do if you haven't got 4 spades though? Well, of course, you can bid 4 of a minor. Or even 5 of a minor. However, it's not always going to be obvious. So for here, you have got a double available. In a way, this is what's called a responsive double. Whenever you double in response to a double, so partner's doubled. Now, most of the time you can't do it. If it goes 2 hearts double pass, you can't then double again, of course. But when they raise the suit, 2 hearts double 3 hearts, it's the same when it goes actually 1 heart double 2 hearts. Again, you've got this opportunity of responding to a double with a double, and almost always it is suggesting that you're not sure what to bid. As the auction gets higher, there also will be the option of just possibly defending. So you might choose, for example, you're saying your double here is suggesting we have the majority of points. Well, we've got 10 points, our partner's suggested an opening hand. Okay, so we think it's our hand. It's no surprise. Both 2 hearts and 3 hearts are relatively weak bids. So your double is saying, yes, partner, it is our hand. It does deny spades, though. Does that make sense here? If I had 4 spades, I would have been bidding spades here. And in fact, if I'd had 4 spades there, if I move the 2 of hearts or something, or, you know, I might even jump to 4 spades because I've got a quite nice hand. So my double is trying to say, partner, we've got to do something. If I had 1 long minor, if I had 5 clubs here, I'd probably just bid clubs. So the double actually is sort of suggesting, partner, I can't play in spades, but how about a minor? And of course, your partner won't always be perfectly symmetrical. It would be lovely if he was 4-4-4-1, yes. But sometimes he might have 5 clubs and 4 diamonds, or 5 clubs and 3 diamonds perhaps, and 4 spades. 5-4-3-1, and now there's a big difference between playing in clubs and diamonds. So the double is almost saying, partner, you know, I'm not sure which suit to bid, but you know, if I had spades, I would have bid it. So in many ways, you're suggesting the minors. Partner, you choose your better minor. Does that make sense? Okay. As I say, though, it does show the majority of points for the most part, so it's also suggesting, look, we've also got the option, if you really think so, we could defend hearts. So here's the hand, and it's quite an interesting one in the end, isn't it? So it goes 2 hearts from north, and east has got not the perfect shape, but with 14 points and shortage in hearts, it's not unreasonable to make a double there. Okay, I've got 2 2s, so pretend one of those 2 of diamonds is a 3 of diamonds, if that's okay. It then goes 3 hearts, a nice bid from south. I mean, some souths would think, well, I'd love them to finish in spades, but make it difficult. If you bid 3 hearts here, sometimes your opponents would end up in spades and you would love it, but make sure it's a level higher. So when you bid 3 hearts here, the important thing about the double is it's basically saying I haven't got spades. So I do not want East coming back with 3 spades. Because in many ways, East, we tend to think partner will have the unbid major. So we're expecting East to have 4 spades. So if I had 4 spades, I would have bid them. So this is really important here, because some East would bid 3 spades and they'll get into a pretty miserable contract. They won't get doubled. South isn't going to be that silly. What do I mean by that? Well, South doesn't want to double because he doesn't want to give away the game, as it were, because they might escape from 3 spades into what they should be in. But a lot of Easts might make the mistake of bidding 3 spades here. Instead, essentially, East is going to think, well, if partner hasn't got spades, clearly I'm going to bid clubs. Now, 4 clubs seems a crazy place to be, but, you know, essentially that's what preempts do to us. And funnily enough, if you can manage to get to 4 clubs, you're getting to the right place. And that's what's so interesting. Again, Alan, absolutely right. So, an interesting point from Alan there. Essentially, one of the reasons we try to bid the major, when the opponents open a major, one of the reasons we try to overcall in the other major when we've got 5 or more cards is to find the fit. Because if you don't, and it's amazing how often, and I've seen 2 or 3 hands where for some reason people choose to respond to a takeout double with a 3-card major. And it's terrible bidding, and get out of the habit if you can. When partner makes a takeout double, he's not saying, please can you bid the major? Because if he wanted you to bid the major, he would have bid the major himself. Does that make sense? Bid what you've got. So for example, if the left hand, if West had 5 clubs 3-3-2, or 5 diamonds for that matter 3-3-2, they should bid 4 diamonds. And we then find our 5-3 diamond fit. Does that make sense? Okay, so bid your best suit. That's what the double asks for. It is not at any point asking you to show a 3-card major. You know, now, if you're desperate at very low levels and you don't really want to bid anything, sometimes you dredge up a response. But when you've got a nice hand like West doesn't want to lie about his hand. He's got a nice hand. Does that make sense? So try not to invent something. Just bid naturally, as it were. The double here is saying, basically saying, I don't like spades, but what about anything else? And so that's how we find 4 clubs. And it's not easy. I think 3 hearts is going to drift 1 off here, probably only. So 3 hearts doubled even is only worth 100, which is interesting. 4 clubs looks like a reasonable contract, doesn't it? It might be a struggle, but I think it's the best you can do. as it happens, because South has the king, queen of diamonds, and he will sometimes, because he has both of them, you are going to be able to lose just one diamond. I mean, it's not perfect, but on another day, I suppose spades might break 3-3 and you can discard on those. But here, as you can see, the diamonds sit well, so you'll only lose one diamond and 2 hearts. So things work out very nicely in the end if you finish in 4 clubs. For just 130, it's a big struggle, as it were, for 130, but it's the best you can do. Okay, so those are difficult decisions, and the vulnerability is going to be key, because a lot of the time, if we've got the majority of points, it's not unreasonable to hope that their contract will go off. Now, this is interesting now, because we will often have a choice between, for example, going for game or trying to defeat the opponent. Okay, particularly if they're bidding to the level of the fit, we will have that decision to make. So we've looked at 2 hearts, double 3 hearts. What about when they go to game, to 4 hearts? Now we really have got a decision to make, okay? So generally, in very simple terms, if you think game might be on, when you're vulnerable, you're going to go for it, okay? When they're vulnerable, we're going to go for the penalty. Now, at equal, it's very, very close, but particularly when it's one red and green. So if you're red and they're green, the game is going to be worthwhile. If they're green and you're red, no, that's what I just said, I think. If you're green and they're red, then of course we go for the penalty. And the reason, of course, is simple. We need to know the scoring, so let's just put it up. You've seen this many a time. Okay, don't forget, those are your under tricks. We're going to assume we're going to double them. So if we think game is on, obviously we should either bid game or we double the opponents, okay? And of course, look at the difference. If we are vulnerable, we can get 620. And if they are non-vulnerable, we have to take them 4 off to get the money back. So that is a huge difference. Change it the other way around. If we're non-vulnerable, we're making 420. We only need to get them 2 off to get a positive, to get a, to beat the score we would have got. So here's an interesting example. Okay. Here's your hand, and this is a classic 5-level decision, isn't it? 2 hearts, double, 4 hearts. Okay, so they've put the pressure on good bidding. And what's nice here is if we had spades, we could bid 4 spades, but we haven't. So it's east-west vulnerable, this first one. Okay, the next time we look at this hand, it's going to be north-south vulnerable. Okay, so east-west vulnerable. So what's your partner got? Well, first things first, partner should have a decent hand, because he may not have a singleton here. Quite a lot of the time he'll have a doubleton heart. He might have a singleton, so we might both have a singleton, and they might have an 11 card fit, but partner might have a doubleton heart. But it's not going to surprise me if we've got a reasonable chance of making game here. You know, you don't have to give your partner much. Ace of spades, king of diamonds and king of clubs, that's a 10 count, and it feels as if you're probably just going to lose 2 tricks. There's also going to be the chances of a slam, but how on earth are you going to judge whether slam is on here? I mean, that's really tough. So generally here, if you decide to bid, we are going to bid 4 no trumps. Now, why would you bid that? Well, you've gone past 4 spades, and it's more important in and this is tricky, but it's more important in sequences like this to find the best fit than it is to try for a slam. And so that's why I'm saying 4 no trumps here we use as partner. I can't play in spades. What do you fancy about the minors? I know some of you may take that as backward, which you shouldn't do. There's no suit bid, but it makes life very difficult to find slams here. I'm going to be honest. You know, so if I wanted to be in a slam, maybe give yourself 1 more high card, the king of spades in there, and you'd sort of think maybe you need to bid 5 no trumps and play it. You know, so I suppose you've got that option. Okay. The problem with double here, Chris, is that partner will often take that for penalties. So it's not so clear. So 2 hearts doubled 3 hearts. The double is very much here saying, you know, let's bid a minor. But over 4 hearts, what do I do? Let's say I had a balanced hand. I may well just want to take the penalty out of 4 hearts. So if you are sure you want to bid to 5 of a minor, and at this vulnerability, I want to play in 5 of a minor. And that's the key here. Can someone remind me how many tricks do we have to take 4 hearts? Assuming we can make 5 of a minor, how many do we have to take 4 hearts off to get a profit? Okay, remember, we are vulnerable, they're not. So they're aiming for 10 tricks. We would have to keep them to 6 tricks. So we have to take them 4 off. So they could just make 6 heart tricks and 1 ruff, and that's it. That is all they need. So I think they're going to manage that. And I believe with my quality of clubs that I think I should bin 5 clubs or 5 diamonds. So here, double gives partner the option of passing. Okay, whereas 4 no trumps says partner, I'm looking at my hand and I would believe that most of the time we can make a game. Okay, and that's the difference here. Okay, so as I say, the vulnerability is such that our game is worth 600. 4 hearts would need to go 4 off. So for me, this is 4 no trumps, partner, bid a minor. Okay, why is it a minor? Well, if we had spade support, we would bid 4 spades. Okay, so let's look at partner's hand. Partner's got a relatively ordinary takeout double there. Okay, he's got 13 points and a doubleton heart. So remember, when he's got a doubleton heart, he should have probably a minimum of about 13 points because he's not perfect for the takeout double. When you've got a singleton heart, it's slightly different. So if I change West hands to a singleton and think, okay, here, should North-South sacrifice? Remember, you have made our life really difficult, okay? So when you sacrifice, when you bid like this and you've jumped to 4 hearts, a lot of the time you should be very happy that you've made life difficult for East-West and they may not get to the right contract. Okay, so be careful on bidding 5 hearts here. John is absolutely right that 5 hearts doubled will be a good score for North-South because 5 clubs is making. But are you sure that East-West have got to the right contract? They have, we can see, but you've made it difficult for them and there will be times that 5 clubs is just about to go 1 off because they should have been in 5 diamonds or they should have even been in 4 spades. So bear that in mind before you think, okay, you know, I know they can make, particularly with the south hand, you've got 2 aces there. Your partner, it might, you know, your partner might turn up with queen to 3 clubs or something like that. Okay, so it doesn't take, remember, if you've got 2 aces in your hand, if partner's got, I don't know, the queen of diamonds or the queen of clubs, you may find that there is another defensive trick. So possibly making them guess at the 5 level, which is what the 4 heart bid has done, is possibly done enough. Also bear in mind, and this is the crucial one, maybe partner might have a singleton spade. If I was south, can you see I'd lead the ace of hearts, hopefully that wins. I would then try the ace of spades and I'm hoping partner's got a spade singleton, and if he has, we take 5 clubs off. So I think you've done well to force us to guess, but we've guessed well. So 4 no trump said partner, let's play in 5 of a minor, and as you can see, 5 clubs will make. You're going to lose a heart and a spade because North doesn't have a singleton. Also, the only other thing I would say about 5 hearts is you might even push them into 6. Now here, that would work because 6 would go off, but there'll be another day where one of them does actually have a void in hearts and they decide to gamble on 6. But that's another matter. Okay, so how does hearts get on here? Hearts loses 5 tricks. Okay, so as John, as I say, 5 hearts would only go 3 off. So if you know 5 clubs is making for 600, then 5 hearts doubled minus 3 would be a good sacrifice. Okay, so double dummy, the optimum score, as it were, here would indeed be 5 hearts. Okay. So, as I say, 4 hearts double minus 2, so that's not good. Now, I'm going to change the vulnerability now. So let's have a look. So the same auction, But this time you're playing against vulnerable opponents and you are non-vulnerable. So it's gone 2 hearts doubled, 4 hearts. Now, what's interesting here is that you could bid 4 no trumps and you hope to make a game, but there's surely a fair chance we might get them 2 off in 4 hearts. Now, 2 off is worth more than a game. Now, a lot of players get into the habit of bidding to the level of their fit, and they may even do that without looking at the vulnerability. It'll often work. If I'm honest, it'll often work even at this adverse vulnerability. Okay, but I'm expecting South to have 4 hearts, so they've got a 10 card fit. Sometimes though, if we can scrape 5 tricks, we will get 4 hearts doubled 2 off for 500, which is worth more than a game. Now, also bear in mind that the odd time you might not make a game, so that even if you only get 4 hearts 1 off, you'll get a good score. But, you know, I'm looking at 12 points. My partner's made a takeout double, so I'm expecting him to have a decent hand. It's not unreasonable to hope that we might get 4 hearts 2 off. Okay, so here I think I might choose a double. Won't always be right, and sometimes, of course, we might be able to make 6 clubs or 6 diamonds. That's what's so difficult. But all I'm asking you to do is understand the way that vulnerability works. Okay, so if you chose here to think, well, I've got 2 aces here. Not only that, if there is a king in the minor in the opponent's hand, it's surely more likely to be in the south hand. I mean, it's the same hand, so I haven't changed anything. Now the question is here, do you bid 4 hearts with the south hand? So it goes 2 hearts double, and it's your bid with the south hand. And that's tricky, isn't it? It's hard not to fancy bidding 4 hearts on it. You don't know you're going to get doubled easily, as it were. A partner could have another king or something like, you know, in his hand. And of course, West might not have 2 aces. I think it's easy for West here in a way because he's got 2 aces. If one of those aces was the king, it's a little bit more difficult, because you can only then really count 1 defensive trick. If you've got king, queen to 5 clubs, not unreasonable to think that one opponent might have a singleton, and suddenly you can imagine 4 hearts getting a bit closer. So it's exactly the same hand as the previous time, it's just the vulnerability is different. Now here, 5 clubs will make, but it doesn't actually get you as much as 4 hearts doubled -2. So isn't that interesting? Okay, so the question is, what do you bid with the south hand? And I think it's not completely unreasonable to bid 4 hearts, because I think it's really tough for the opponents to get it right. Can you see that? So I think a lot of people over 4 hearts would bid 4 no trumps. You know, you don't, I mean, you could bid just 3 hearts, let them find their best fit or whatever. But, you know, 4 hearts puts the pressure on. But if they guess right and double, then they will get 500 out of 4 hearts rather than 5 clubs. And equal vulnerability, I think 4 hearts is clear. I think it's not unreasonable to do it at this vulnerability as well. Okay, but be aware. And what's interesting here, what is interesting is that it's the double doubleton. Now, those of you who were at Denim with me heard me talk about double doubletons. If there was a singleton in the south hand, let's say south had a singleton diamond, for example, and 3 clubs, suddenly we're only going 1 off in 4 hearts. So the double doubleton there in the minors is less desirable. South doesn't want to redouble because that generally says I am strong generally. So 2 hearts double, redouble says partner, it's our hand. I've got about 16 points here. He's trying to come in the auction. They should watch out. I want to make it difficult for them by bidding 4 hearts. And every so often, you never know, you might get one of these people who likes to bid spades on a 3-card suit. Because, as I say, there are lots of you out there for some reason that think that it's sensible because partner, when he doubles, only wants to hear majors. Remember, if I only ever wanted to hear spades in response to my double of 2 hearts, I would bid them myself. Okay, so I only want you responding to my takeout doubles if you've got 4 in a suit, no shorter. So again, both hands can make 5 clubs. What's interesting is that on one of them, clearly we wanted to be in four hearts double here. On the other one, 5 clubs is worth more. So understanding the scoring system is important. Okay, so what did we say? Generally, when we're bidding against preempts, etc., we are in troubles anyway because it makes our life difficult. You're not going to get them all right. We'd love to get 3 out of 4 maybe. Okay, we'll go for 3 out of 4 rather than 66, but 66 is pretty good. You've got to expect at least to get 1 out of 4 wrong. And so bear that in mind, both of you, not just you, but your partner too. You're not going to get them all right. You just want to be on the right side of it more often than not. And what that means is when it goes wrong, it will go wrong in a big way. You know, you've doubled for takeout, they jump to 4 hearts, partner tries 5 clubs, and it turns out you've only got a 4-3 fit, and that the suit breaks 5-1. Their double is easy, and 800 points later, you need to both smile about it. Remember, if you do not get an 800 relatively regularly, you are not bidding, you are not bidding enough. Okay, all right. So, what have we got left? Well, we'll just have a quick look at that 5-level decision, which of course is pretty much on the same theme, isn't it? The same theme. And very similar, I think, to what we've just seen in a way, because partners bid a club. A little bit more difficult if you play a phony club, so if you're playing some kind of strong no trump 5-card major system. But because we know West has got clubs, I think, even though it's equal vulnerability, it is not unreasonable to say, partner, I want to play in 5 of a suit. Okay, 5 of a minor. So I would bid 4 no trumps here. And again, for me, that would be to play in a suit. It's not Blackwood. Okay, you know, when you have preempts coming in, your job generally is to find the best denomination. And I'm hoping that 4 no trumps here would suggest, partner, I want to play at the 5 level in something. Okay, I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world if partner responds to Blackwood, but you might get too high. So for me, double is penalties, and that's crucial, and that's what we said in terms of the negative double. Once it gets to 4 spades, can you I mean, if I've got a balanced hand and I want to penalise them, I just want to double. Here though, I would like to play in a contract, so I would bid 4 no trumps here, hoping that partner takes it for him to bid at the 5 level. Right, West has chosen 5 clubs. I'm not sure that's what I would have done with his hand, actually, but let's have a look. We'll just pass it out. So both 5 clubs and 5 diamonds are equally good. I would have expected partner to perhaps bid 5 diamonds over the 4 no trump bid here, depending on exactly what you agree to play it as. But you can see that we're quite comfortable. The key about the 4 spade bid is they will make a lot of tricks. And as you can see, there are 8 spades in the north hand. So they've already made 8 tricks. 4 spades doubled -2. Now, as you can see, there's the ace of hearts as well, but that's another matter. But even if that ace of hearts wasn't there, they're only going 2 off for 300. So here they would only go 1 off. So if 5 clubs makes, 5 spades is a good sacrifice. But, you know, I always feel that you should only preempt once here. So North I say that, I think South could maybe bid 5 spades, maybe. You know, once the bidding comes back round to him, maybe South only has the ace of hearts. The 4 spade bid probably only has a maximum of 1 trick. But he's got 4 clubs in his hand, hasn't he? So I can understand why they've passed it out. And I don't think there should be too much trouble in the play there. De Clowes should just lose 1 heart and 1 spade. It's an interesting one though, because if South does bid, maybe that's another 5-level decision. South's decision. If partner has the jack of clubs, singleton or something like that, you'd have a club trick. So maybe passing 5 clubs, that is reasonable. Okay. Let's show you that bidding quiz. Remember, you get the answer on the thing, and we're on a theme. In fact, we planned this theme on the Fridays quite recently, didn't we? 1 heart on your right, and it's your bid, and you didn't know what to bid because you played 2 no trumps, is showing the unusual, both minors. So you couldn't bid a 2 no trump overcourt. So instead, you've doubled first, and partners responded a spade. So it goes 1 heart, double, pass, 1 spade from your partner, pass, and it's your bid. Nobody's vulnerable. and you can decide what to do. Well, a nice hand. 21 high card points. Okay, so I hope you enjoy that. Look at the answer on the website. Whether you remember or not, you are welcome to do that. So quite a week coming up, and oh, sorry, that's the wrong button. Hopefully you enjoy the week ahead, whether it's windy, raining, sunny. Plenty of bridge to think about. It's the bridge season, really, isn't it? September, preemptember is how we like to start our new bridge season. We are talking negative doubles on Friday. Remember, Wednesday, as usual, is the teams. Next week, slightly different. We are recorded on Monday. There still will be a broadcast, but it'll be recorded because I am in Devon in two bridges. And we have the teams next week. Remember, will be on Thursday. My wife had a mentioning the diaries, I should say. They are in stock. So if you want a bridge diary, you can get one. So do bear that in mind. And do come and see us. And if you're not a member, come and join us, or have a little sample, as it were, and see what you are missing. Thanks for your company. See you again soon.